UGC under fire over new norms. Political storm over new UGC norms. Top court douses UGC fire. Supreme Court, 2026 UGC norms prone to misuse. Campuses, court and the centre. Equity or electoral risk. New UGC norms on India Today. Political stock exchange.
Let's quickly, viewers, for the understanding of our audience on what young people today feel, what various caste groups feel when the government came with the new UGC regulations, what was their reaction despite now yesterday it being stayed by the top court of this country. We did a quick snap poll by C Voter, posed a couple of questions to our respondents. This had, of course, the snap poll took place before the Supreme Court had come in yesterday and stayed the UGC norms. Before we dive in to our data this evening, joining me, Rajat Sethi, political analyst, Professor Chandra Bhushan Sharma, educationist, Professor Suraj Yengde, author, Caste, A Global Story, Assistant Professor, UPenn, and Ashutosh, political analyst. Let's quickly dive into the first set of data. In terms of questions that we asked our respondents, we have, viewers, broken our first questions into two data groups. One question that was posed to subsets of caste and the other subsets of age. Both important on what subsets of caste feel and especially age, because we've seen the kind of protest UGC norms had lit a fire in most campuses, especially B-Town. So the first question that we had posed for our respondents: are UGC reforms anti-upper caste? We break it down in terms of caste subsets. Scheduled caste, only 31% of scheduled caste felt that UGC norms were anti-upper caste. Scheduled tribes, 33% felt that UGC norms were anti-upper caste. OBCs, 47% of OBCs felt that UGC norms were against the upper castes. Having said that, look at that subset of upper caste Hindus. 80% of our respondents who belong to the category of upper caste felt that the new UGC norms formulated by the government were anti-upper caste. And you can see the data breakup on your television screen right there. The same question we asked in terms of an age breakup. Are UGC norms anti-upper caste? Yes. 18 to 24 years of age, 60% of those. Now, this is cutting across caste lines, viewers. 60% of 18 to 24 years, mostly student, when posed the question whether the new norms were anti-upper caste, 60% of them said yes, they were anti-upper caste. 41 of 25 to 34-year-old, 41% of 35 to 44-year-old, 46% of 45 to 54-year-old, and 65% of 55 and over respondents felt that the UGC reforms anti-upper caste. Very interesting here. If you look at the data set, usually, when we look at data and we study data, we see a sharp divide on what an 18 to 24-year-old feels and responds to how a possible 55-year-old and plus responds to a particular question. This is one of those rare Hail Mary moments where we've seen a subset of data where 18 to 24 of years age has responded very similar to that of 55 and plus age group. All right, the other question: can new UGC guidelines inflame casteism on campus? Once again, we have broken this question on both subsets, on caste subsets and those of age. Where caste is concerned, scheduled caste, 30% feel that these guidelines would have inflamed casteism on campus. Scheduled tribes, 48%. OBCs, split even keel. 51% of them feel that this would have inflamed campuses. A whopping 82% of the upper caste felt that this was a sure shot way of sparking protests, of casteism on campus. Muslims, 52%. Now let's turn this question in terms of age data set. So can new UGC guidelines inflame casteism on campus? Now take away the caste groups of it, look at purely from an age point of view. 65% of 18 to 24-year-old cutting across party lines feel that yes, this would have inflamed casteism on campus. 48% between 24 to 34 years old felt the same. 43% between 35 to 44 years old, and 54% between 45 to 54, and 62% 55 plus. Once again, in this particular data set, we have where an 18 to 24-year-old has responded practically the same as a 55-year-old plus. Let's cut across to first reactions coming in from our guests this evening. Ashutosh, when you look at the data, it's very, very clear. At one end, someone would turn around and say, if you look at the first set of data, that this is an upper caste problem, because 80% of the upper caste has responded saying that the UGC norms are anti-upper caste, and about 60 to 65%, 60% 18 to 24 age group, 65% of 55 plus age group saying that this is anti-upper caste. Clearly, these reforms were built to be against a particular caste, and that is what the data speaks. Ashutosh.
Preeti, before commenting on the data, there is a submission from my side that does the data reflect the caste percentage of different caste groups? Like OBC commands 52% as per the Mandal Commission report, SC/ST is 22.5%, and the 14% upper caste. If this data is representative, then obviously I'll comment on that. But if you can enlighten me on this.
Well, our sample size has been equal for all. Yeah, equal number of people have been interviewed, have been posed these questions from all different caste subsets and age groups.
So that means the data is skewed in favor of the upper caste. So obviously there is anomaly in the data itself.
No, Ashutosh,
I'm only saying is, suppose I'm only saying is, if the 100 people have been contacted, out of that 100 people, 52 were from OBCs and 14 are only from the upper caste.
No. Let me tell you, if 100 people were contacted, 20 were from the OBCs, 20 from the upper caste, 20 from scheduled tribe, and 20 from the scheduled caste.
That's my objection. So data does not represent the population combination. The 52% OBCs should be contacted, not only 20% of the population. So let's forget about it. The issue is as simple. I think the issue goes beyond whether the UGC guideline is an upper caste, anti-upper caste, or not anti-upper caste. The issue is that at this age, are we willing to accept the fact that the Dalits and the OBCs have been dehumanized by the caste structure? That's a fundamental question. And if there is an affirmative action to deal with that, then there is such a strong reaction. What is the reason for such a strong reaction? And that's when we all promise that we are going to make the society a casteless society. Okay. This reaction was purely casteist reaction. And that's what worries me. That despite 75 years after independence and constitution there is still people are not reacting as a citizen, but people are reacting only as a caste representative.
No, fair point. No,
that's
of course.
Problematic.
Okay, do you find then, Ashutosh, as I bring in Rajat Sethi, who's been wanting to come in, I still don't understand how you detail the data there for our viewers on why it was skewed. But having said that aside, Ashutosh, do you agree with the Supreme Court's judgment, or do you think it was skewed?
There are two angles to the story. One is a legal story, and what really I was really surprised by the speed with which the Supreme Court had intervened in this matter. I'm really surprised.
Okay.
By that logic, that this government has wanted to create a regressive society or a divisive society. By that logic, Supreme Court by now should have intervened the statement made by Himanta Biswa Sarma. I think that is far more dangerous.
Okay.
That indicates how a sitting chief minister holding a constitutional position is trying to target 38% Muslims in Assam and creating a kind of
All right.
anarchic